Hey, 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 good morning. Rise and shine and give God your glory, glory. I remember singing that when I was a kid. I just sang it again. Rise and shine, mother cluckers. Yeah, we have no rooster. So, we got rid of a rooster. So it's just me waking you up now. Mm, good morning. You know what today is, right? Today is Friday, and you know what that means, right? That means it's a weekend time. Yeah. I'm going to have a great weekend. I'm going to see old friends. I'm going to make new friends. I'm going to go out to dinner. I'm going to go out and see people do things. And oh, yeah, like I don't do that every day of my life because that's just the way it is. I love my life. Last night we had plans to go out with like a whole bunch of people, and yeah, there was a COVID scare, so the other four people had to back out. Well, two had to back out, and two backed out because the first two backed out because I didn't know them. They only knew each other. Big long story, not important. They'll be fine. I'll check in with them today and see how their test results came out. Anyway, yeah, so just Indy and I went. They were having a dedication of a new park in front of the art museum at the Palm Springs, like right near the main drag where they have the street fair. And they used to have a street fair every Thursday night for as long as I can remember. And yay, it's opening again. They opened it last night. Lauren, good morning. I hope you're doing well. I've been thinking about you, sweetheart. Here's to you. Mm. Anyway, we got there, we parked, we walked around. I'm just too little to be in a crowd and see what's going on at something like that. So we walked around the park and we sat down in like they built like an amphitheater because they were gonna have some ABBA cover band or something like that. So we sat down and realized that we were going to be sitting there for a long time because the entertainment wasn't starting until our dinner reservation. So we walked around. They were having a dog Halloween costume. I saw my favorite. I don't remember if I took a picture though or not. I don't think I did. Oh, Lauren, you are feeling better? And I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so glad to hear that. Um, so there was this big white dog. Kind of looked like Old Yeller, but it was white. Just this big, huge white dog. Like really, really like the hair was like it looked like there was no hair. It looked like it was just a white dog and big, huge dog. And all they put on him, this guy put on a lion's mane with little lion ears in it. The dog looked just like a lion that had just been shaved. I could not stop laughing. I went over to the guy and I said, "Okay, look, I'm not the judge, but in my book, you just won this contest. You." And I pointed at the dog. "You are so adorable. I can't stand it." So it was a lion contest, costume. I've been seeing the best costumes lately. Good morning, Jenny, my friend. Good morning. Good morning. Mm. So that was really fun. Saw Fritzi yesterday. Good Fritzi report. She looked like her eyes were clear. She was on um oxygen when I got there. So apparently she's been having some wheezing issues. You know what? The woman is 98 years old. She still doesn't wear glasses. She doesn't hear well, and she does have dementia. So she doesn't remember anything that isn't happening right in the moment. But in the moment, she's talking, she's eating, she's happy. She's just happy again. It's so wonderful to be with her. I know how blessed I am. I know how lucky I am to still have my mom. And that's why I try and share my stories of her with you because I want you to share in the joy of having a mom. This is the woman who every single day when she sees me, it's you know how your dog is so happy to see you, even if you've only been gone for 5 minutes? That's how Fritzi is with me. I walk into her room, even with a mask on, and she goes like this. Oh, you're here. You're so beautiful. I mean, come on, seriously. Wouldn't you go every day if you could get a piece of that action? She's amazing. Um, I just read the best quote yesterday from Winston Churchill, and I wrote it down. You probably have heard it already, but I just thought it was so cool. I wanted to share it with you. War does not determine who is right. It only determines who is left. He said that after World War One or during World War One. Doesn't determine who's right, just who's left. Okay. Okay. Cause celebrate. 1926, he was born. 2009, he died. Soupy Sales. Did you love Soupy Sales? I mean, okay. He was a little off. He was nuts. I loved Soupy Sales. For those of you who are young, what you should remember or you should know about him is he's the guy who on his TV show, oh, did I say that yet? Soupy Sales was a TV personality who did a kids show, but all the adults they all turned on, whatever it was. Oh, we're gonna come to that later too. Everybody watched Soupy Sales. It wasn't he was the guy who would open the door and a pie would go in someone's face, either his or the person at the door. I mean, but there were lots of pies thrown in people's face, which normally is not my brand of humor. But when you get somebody at the level of like, oh, say a Frank Sinatra, to allow a pie to be thrown in his face by Soupy Sales, you got to know this guy is on to something. He had his characters, White Fang and Blacktooth. Is that right? White Fang and Blacktooth? I don't remember. And he did the mouse. And okay, I'm not making him sound as hilarious as he was, but he was, thank you, Ginny. He was crazy. He was crazy. He said things. This is one of the things he did that got him thrown off the air. He said, "Boys and girls, Daddy's sleeping, and I want you to go in quietly. Shh, 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 shh." He has these things in his pocket that make him so sad. They make his life miserable. They're green paper about this big. Anyway, he had the kids go into their daddy's pockets or mommy's purses or whatever and take out money and mail it to him. Yeah, Soupy Sales. What a guy. Anyway, I had a husband who lived in New York City, and that's where Soupy used to film his show. And every day he and his best friend would walk down, watch the show being filmed, or just wait outside the door for Soupy to come out, and then they'd walk home with him or walk wherever he was walking back in the day, right? So he grew up being a huge fan. And I think you know that I used to do a television show called Shop Television Network. And we used to have no A celebrities, but B's and C's come to the show and shop with us. And one day it was going to be Soupy Sales. And I found out about it. And I wasn't scheduled to work that day. And I was very unhappy. So I went to the director and I told him, but you don't understand. My husband is his biggest fan. I really, really want him to get to meet Soupy. And I was going to bring him to work with me that day. And I'm not scheduled to work. And what am I going to do? And he said, just come down. You can just come down. So we came down. And I could give you all the details because it was an absolutely insane day. But the bottom line is Soupy was on the show. He did get to meet my husband, got to reunite with him, and actually brought pictures from like 30 years before when he was doing his show. And then Soupy had his photographer take current pictures, all of which I've lost somehow. But here was the best part. We were on the set watching the show being filmed, and they cut for a commercial. And the director said, all right, when we come back from the commercial, let's have Juliet Prowse and Soupy doing the Soupy shuffle. We need somebody else doing it with them. And I got so, you can imagine. I got so excited. Me, I want to do the Soupy shuffle with Soupy and Juliet. Anyone but Sandye. No, no, choose me. We have to pay you. No, I'll pay you. I want to do it. Please, anything. I want to be in that scene. Anyway, he acquiesced. And before the commercial was over, I was on the set doing this Soupy shuffle with Soupy Sales on one side and Juliet Prowse on the other. It was kind of like this. I mean, hilarious. I don't mean funny. Somewhere I still have tape from it. It was crazy, crazy. What a day that was. What a day. And then I saw him like maybe, oh, I want to say like 5 years later. He was doing stand up at a club right near where I lived. So we went to see him. And wow, 5 years made a big difference in him. He was old. I think that was just very shortly before he died. And speaking of, birthdays and dying, Curly. Remember Curly from the Three Stooges? Nyeh, 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 certainly. Anyway, it was his birthday today too. And oh, okay, now we're gonna get to what I was talking about earlier. Timothy Leary. You know, before we talk about Timothy Leary, can we talk about this whole music thing with Facebook? I mean, I get it. I don't want to break copyright laws, but I'm a singer, not like professionally. I'm not very good. I really want to admit that. But I sing everything. You say something to me, it reminds me of a song, and I sing a line from a song. Is that stealing someone's copyright? Really? I quote people. That's I just quoted what's his name? Churchill. Does that make me a thief? I don't know. I This whole thing really gets to me. I love music. Don't make it if you don't want people to sing it. I get it. You don't want me to play theirs, but is it okay if I sing it? I don't know. Anyway, Timothy Leary, born in 1920. He was once called the most dangerous man alive. Nixon called Timothy Leary the most dangerous man alive. He was a psychologist. He was a Harvard professor. He was a 60s guru, and his famous line was turn on, tune in, drop out. He was pretty cray cray. Yeah, he was a wild guy. Woo! Ah, can I do Facebook Live with my name instead of my group? I don't know. Will it still go out to the whole group or just people in the group who are my friends? I don't know, Ginny. I could try that. But I don't know. I'll try it. I'll try it tomorrow or maybe later today. Good morning, Stephen. Okay. Christopher Lloyd's birthday. Yeah, Back to the Future. And of course, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. He would be in that because he just like looked crazy, didn't he? Yeah. Well, I mean, he's still alive, as far as I know. Yeah. Oh, okay, this is for the boys particularly. Happy birthday in heaven to Annette Funicello, who was born in 1942, but unfortunately died of MS. But she was the hot musketeer. Annette Funicello, the hot musketeer. She did all those beach movies and stuff like that with Frankie Avalon. Oh, okay. I don't know if you know this about her. She was once in a relationship with Paul Anka, the singer. And you know his famous song, which I don't have the rights to, but and they called it puppy love. Yeah, he wrote that song about Annette Funicello. Seriously, is that like so cute? I knew you'd love that. Ah, anyway, Catherine Deneuve. She was born in 1943, French actress. I think she was French. She did Umbrellas of Cherbourg. It wasn't in English. Maybe there was no I don't even know if there was any dialogue. I don't remember, but talk about a classic soft porcelain beauty. She was gorgeous. My favorite birthday today, my very favorite birthday today, besides Soupy Sales. In 1844, I think of her as would she be my namesake or would I be her namesake? I guess I would be her namesake. Yeah. The famous actress, the queen of it all, Sarah Bernhardt. French theater. She was like the first female star of talking pictures. She was so dramatic. Anyway, when I was a kid, I know you're gonna find this hard to believe, but I was very dramatic. Yes. My happies were very happy and my sads were very sad. So they used to call me Sarah Bernhardt. Yeah, that was my nickname that my family gave me. Mm. And my Hebrew name is Sarah. Sarah. Sarah Leah. Yeah, Sandy Lee. That's me. And they used to call me Sarah Bernhardt. So thank you, Sarah Bernhardt, for giving me words to put with who I was, who I am. I'm still a Sarah Bernhardt. Everything is still very dramatic. Did you know that the Who wasn't originally called the Who? The Who was originally called the High Numbers. The High Numbers. I'm just guessing that it had to do with drugs. I don't know. Um and did you know that the Supremes were the first female group to have a number 1 album? That was in 1966. Good, 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 good vibrations. Oh, that song by the Beach Boys, Good Vibrations, took 6 weeks to record. They recorded it in 2 different studios. It cost over $16,000, which was a lot of money in 1960s money to record Good Vibrations. And then the technician at the second studio where they finally recorded it was quoted as saying, "I don't know why they kept doing it over. The first one sounded exactly the same as the last one." I wonder how many decisions in life we make like that. You know, oh, I know a good example. In the morning when I'm getting ready to do this, it takes a like a screenshot of me to put up for you to go with the video. And if you don't like the way it looks, you just hit retake thumbnail. So I must hit retake thumbnail a dozen times every morning because I never like the way I look. And finally, I just like go with whatever the last thing I took was because it's 6 o'clock and time to get going. Yeah. And probably the first one was just as good as the last one. It's kind of like that. Oh, this was cool. In the 60s, the Mindbenders had a minor hit with Groovy Kinda Love. Now, I mention that because I really like it because I had a groovy kinda love. But in 1988, that's a lot of years later, Phil Collins did the same song and he had a number 1 hit with it. I don't know if you noticed, but when we talk about music, that's pretty common. Somebody will do the song and then a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years later, somebody else will redo the song and get a hit with it again. I think we were in the car yesterday and the radio was on, and there was this guy doing this, oh, so slow version of Blue Moon. Yeah, it's like it's such a cool song. Even the original version, which was from my parents' generation, "Blue moon, I saw you standing alone," like that. And then there was our version, which was dip da dip da dip dip da dip da dip da 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 blue moon, blue moon, dip da dip da dip, right? And this one was like stretched out and syrupy, and ugh, I hated it. Anyway, everybody does it their own way, I guess. Um, in 1981, the national debt reached $1 trillion. Now, why do I mention that? Because 7 years earlier, it was 50 billion, which to me is still ridiculous. But in 7 years, our debt doubled. And this is not a political conversation, so don't take it there. But I just want you to take a look at your own funds, your own fiscal well-being. Wouldn't you, if you were in debt and 7 years later your debt was doubled, wouldn't you like maybe say, "I got to do something about this"? Yeah. I mean, seriously, we as a country own over I mean, now we owe way more than that because that was in 1981. I don't even know what the national debt is now. It's crazy. We wouldn't allow ourselves to be in debt like that. I don't know. Okay, I'm off my political high horse because I guess that is political, no matter how you look at it. It just makes me crazy that we as a people owe someone something that much money. That's cray cray. All right. Now we come to, in 1938, the development of the most successful product of all time. Can you guess what it was? It was developed in 1938. It was first offered to IBM, and IBM turned it down. And Chester Carlson offered it then to the company was Haloid. Haloid, that was the name of it, Haloid, to Haloid. They took it. And about 10 years later, they finally got it to the market as not computers, Xerox. They made it into Xerox, the first dry copier. And look at Xerox. I mean, come on. That was like older than I am. Way older than I am. 1926, Harry Houdini died. Harry Houdini, the magician. Yeah. And how did he die? This was like so weird. I guess he used to brag about how strong his stomach muscles were. And I guess that was part of the reason he could get out of the, in and out of things. And, he could hold his stomach way in and extend it and blah, blah. Anyway, some drunk college student, without giving him any warning, took him up on what he said, punched him in the stomach 4 times. He still went on with his show, but those 4 punches killed him. Yeah. Wow. So the moral of that story is, yeah, maybe, I don't know if it was appendix. Yeah. Um, oh, the air conditioner was also around the same time? Yeah, that was also a great we still have those, don't we? Thank goodness. Anyway, yeah, Harry Houdini punched in the stomach, but bam, like 4 days later, I think he was dead. Okay, this was like creepy weird. And I think there's a movie that's about this. In 1895, in Montparnasse, in France, a train was behind schedule, and the engineer decided to speed it up a little bit to try and make up time. And in France, there are a lot of what do you call them? Like train stations. Yeah, train stations that are in buildings, right? And sometimes they're multiple stories because there's multiple trains coming in at different times. And they have these like stoppers, because the trains are supposed to come in like really slowly before they get to the building. And then they very, very slowly chug inside and they stop. Well, this guy was going so fast, and then his air brakes failed, and he went through the stopper and out the big window side of the second story of the train station. I saw a picture of it. Ew. Ew, 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 ew. All right, now, if you wanna feel like maybe you need to speed things up a little bit, the good news is we don't type on regular most of us don't type on regular old-fashioned typewriters before. I got an electric typewriter for my birthday when I was in college. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool because I could type pretty fast with that, or at least I thought I could. But on an old-fashioned typewriter in 1918, a woman named Margaret Gwen, w she was the champ. She typed 170 words a minute on an old-fashioned typewriter, but that was just 1 minute. I mean, I don't know what it would have been if she tried to type for longer. But a few years later, a guy named Albert Tangora typed for an hour, and his average speed was 147 miles an hour. No, 147 words a minute. That's pretty dang fast, don't you think? I did. I did. On this day, years ago, Bobby Fuller died. Who's Bobby Fuller? Anybody? 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 Bobby Fuller? Yeah. Bobby Fuller. Maybe it was a one-hit wonder. I don't know. I fought the law and the law won. That was Bobby Fuller. In 1983, Frank Epperson died. You're saying to yourself, okay, who was Frank Epperson? I'll bite, right? You want to know who he was? He was the guy who in 1923 invented the popsicle, except it was originally called an episicle after himself. And then they changed it to popsicle. And he discovered the popsicle. He invented it totally by accident. Apparently, he had a cup with seltzer water in it, and he threw a stick into it. When he was done, he just dropped a stick into it, and he set it on his windowsill in the middle of the winter. When he got up in the morning, he picked up the stick, and the seltzer water was stuck to it. We ended up with popsicles. I've never had a popsicle. Is it okay to admit that? I know, isn't that weird? I've never had a popsicle. It just never appealed to me. I've never had a creamsicle. I I don't know. I mean, it's like the things I've never had are kind of weird. And I mean, it's not like I'm too young, too old to ever taste a popsicle. I just don't have any interest in it. I know, isn't that weird? Never had a popsicle. My kids, when they were little, because I didn't eat popsicles, I didn't buy them for them, but I bought those Tupperware things to make your own popsicles, and I made them without sugar. I just basically did colored water. And my kids thought colored water was popsicles. They loved them. Go get a bomb pop. Never had that either. Yes, original popsicle was a eppersicle, and it was made with seltzer water. Hey, that's what it said on the internet, and you know the internet is always right. Sometimes I get little hairs on my chin, and I have to pluck them. It only happened as I got older. Yeah, I can see little hairs, and I pop them out. But there was a young lady named Annie Jones who I'm guessing was maybe born with some male hormones, not just female hormones, because by 9 months old, she was already getting hair on her face, and her parents rented her out to the circus. I rented her out is my words. I mean, they hired her out. I don't know what you would call it, but at the time, they were paid $150 a week, which in today money would be $2,000 a week for Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus to show little Annie Jones in their tent of strange people. By 5 years old, she had a full beard. She was the bearded girl. And then I saw pictures of her as a woman. She had full beard, mustache. I mean, like, I don't know. But come on, seriously. Okay, it was a different time. That was, in 1902. Maybe there was nothing they could do to help her other than make money off of her, but it's like so shocking to me that anybody would do that to their child. Okay, onto the word art. Yeah, I know. That's like weird, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, onto the word art. You can quit if you want to. That's all I want to say. You can quit if you want to. This is part of my problem solving segment. I've been talking to you about how lucky I was that I had parents, particularly my dad, who taught us how to problem solve. They taught us how to take any given issue or situation and like look exactly at what it meant to us, to other people. What were the risks? What were the consequences? What was the potential gain? What was the potential loss? And we had to look at all these different things, at all the possibilities, and then make a decision. And the truth is, once you get good at this, it's like anything else. You can look at something and sum it up pretty quickly and decide in a very short amount of time, although sometimes you need to sit down and make lists and things, how to solve a problem. So that's why today my word art was you can quit if you want to. I'm not going to preach at you. You have to look at the pluses, the minuses. What are the consequences? What could happen to me? What could happen to the people around me? And make some decisions about what you're going to do. And if you want to quit, quit. John Gittleman, thank you for your post this morning. He said, "Hey, sometimes quitting is a really good thing. If I hadn't quit my first marriage, I'd still be married to my first wife, and I wouldn't have spent all these wonderful years with the woman I have now." What have you quit in life that's paid off? And what have you quit in life that you're still kind of regretting? Oh, and sometimes you get a do-over. Just sometimes. Check it out. In the meantime, happy weekend. Tomorrow's Saturday, and I will see you then. I have no big plans. Ex- wait. I played tennis yesterday and I didn't even tell you about it. Oh my God. Quitting a job. Yes, Steven. Ginny. Yes. Quitting a job. The best thing I ever did in life was quit the jobs I quit. But I forgot to tell you about tennis because I did not want to quit tennis. And after my physical therapy, I think I told you yesterday or day before yesterday, I had permission to go hit the ball, not play a serious run around game, just hit the ball, serve it, volley it. I did that yesterday. And I'm not going to lie, I hurt last night as always. But what the PT guy told me was if it didn't hurt worse and it didn't hurt while I was doing it, I could go back slowly to playing tennis. I'm so excited. So I'm going today. I'm going to tell him what issues I still had. But honestly, while I was playing, maybe it was just because I was so gloriously happy. It was perfect. It was wonderful. Uh, seriously, I fully expect that in a short time, maybe I won't play 7 days a week again. Maybe that's what did it. Maybe I did it too much. But I am so anxious to get back out in the sunshine and running around and hitting that ball and being with the girls or the guys because we played mixed doubles too. Anyway, I just want you to know that my report is it was no worse and it didn't hurt while I played. And that makes me so very, very happy. And remember, war does not determine who is right. It determines who is left. Ba-bam. I love you guys. I really, truly do love you guys. And I will see you tomorrow.